Today we have my 911 992.1 Ford GTS, and I'm going to make the argument today that this is the best GTS that has been made for the last 15 years. Aesthetically, there are some differences that we can compare, at least to the 991.2, and that the 991.2 is going to be a smaller vehicle. Now the 992.1, though it is larger, doesn't really feel like it's a larger car when you're driving it. Now aesthetically wise, for the back, there are some differences that I really like about the 992.1 over the 991.2, and that is going to be the back end of this car, the rear end. Now the 991.2 had the non-solid bar, two lights, one light back, left, right, kind of look like they're winking at you, and it's pretty looking. It's still a Porsche look, but I feel like this is a lot more refined on this car, having the solid back light going over the back end. I just think that it looks a lot more beautiful. And the other one that you're not going to be able to get as far as the 992.2 is going to be this beautiful shark blue, which has been discontinued, at least for that generation. Now I'd have to check to make sure 100% that the paint samples were, you can't get it, but as far as I know, you're not going to be able to get this color again. And I just kind of always appreciated the Skittle colors when it comes to Porsches. I think that you have a better resale value for you. I think it sticks out. I think it makes it a little bit more fun as time goes on and you start looking at newer models or what they can propose to you. But the shark blue is absolutely gorgeous in this car. And though it did kind of have some complaints at the front, or at least a couple of worries about the front fascia, the new front fascia compared to the 991.2, I absolutely love. It looks a much more aggressive, a lot more slick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out, we're gonna take it for a drive, and we're gonna do kind of some comparisons over the GTSs for the last 15 years to find out if you agree with me that this is the best GTS that you can buy right now. Oh my God, oh my God. Okay, so to go over a little bit, the 992.1 has a quarter mile time of 10.7 seconds. And 10.7 seconds is incredible and exactly kind of what I was looking for in a car, at least in the benchmark in the Porsche that I'd want to have as my forever or dream car. And this does give you a little bit better than what you would see in your 991.2. Now the 991.2, I believe the quarter mile times are 11.9 and 11.5, depending on what kind, if you're dealing with PDK obvious being the 11.5, and then manual being more towards the 11.9, 12 seconds. So you have almost a second significant, 1 second significant jump over the previous generation. So even though the 992.1 does have that T-hybrid system that allows you to always have pretty much 20 PSI rolling at all times, you know, I kind of like that you're able to modulate a little bit more and work with the turbo and let it go up through the rev ranges to really kind of explore. That's only just going to help you on cornering, but even just consistency of your straight line times. Speaking of which, this is another reason why I picked the Ford GTS. Now with the Ford GTS all-wheel drive, you're just more consistently hitting those 2.9 0 to 60s, the 10.7 in the quarter miles. And it really doesn't matter if you're getting hotter or if it's just you've done it time after time again, you're on the track. Having that all-wheel drive just makes it absolutely perfect. When I said that this car was the best GTS in the last 15 years, that's because it had to meet a couple of criteria for me. And one of those criteria was the 0 to 60 mile time. And that is 2.9 seconds. That is an incredible time. Even from someone who came from a V8 Mustang that was supercharged, it still is super impressive and better than what I was able to accomplish that because of the all-wheel drive. So even if you were thinking about getting your first Porsche coming from a V8, you are not going to be disappointed into it whatsoever. The next is, it's a little fast and furious. It's a little stupid, but it is the quarter mile time. The quarter mile time of a mid 10 seconds is absolutely perfect for where I wanted it to be. And it's the first time in the GTS range that we've actually been able to see this. Previously, it was only in turbos and turbo S's that you were able to see those mid 10 seconds, lower 10-second times. So this car is just that perfect mix of in between, of just not being overly ridiculously fast like the turbo S is at rating there at 9.9, I believe, in the quarter mile time, and 2.2 in the 60. But it is still in a spot that I knew that I would love this car to be. Now, the 992.2, the newest iteration, is the same stiff sprung, same suspension system that you have in the 992.1. So there's no difference there. The only complaints or things that I've actually heard people talk about is you can feel the electric battery up front. It giving you about another 50 to 75 pounds, I believe, in that front end. So it doesn't really get that light, loose feeling that you usually Porsche 911s are known for. So it just makes it more of a better driving experience. Now, I'm a big believer. Everybody is rocking the GT3 right now, and it is an amazing car. But I think that the GTS is often very much times overlooked. It gives you a lot of everything that you wanted or dreamt of as a kid. If you were looking for the speed as a turbo, if you're looking for the cornering of a GT3, you're getting everything in that in the package. And a lot of people just say, oh, well, why not get the S and it's $30,000 less? Well, truth be told of the story, you actually are getting a lot more. And it depends on how you spec out the car. Now, when you go from just the S to four-wheel drive, or the 4 GTS in this matter, you are getting those 0 to 60 times in this quarter miles that are just a lot more consistent. You're also getting a lot more cornering. You're also going to get a stiffer suspension than your S. Some people are saying that you have to do modifications to your S to really get the track work out of it. So I think that there is a lot more that the GTS is providing for you and giving to you that makes it a special example. And the other great thing about having the GTS, and it doesn't really matter for me because this is a forever car for me, is going to be that it has a much lower depreciation than your S or your 911. And that is usually just because it is so spec'd, so well spec'd. And a lot of times when people are going back to look at a used car, what really matters to them is what features are going to be put into there. And when you have all your favorite features that you've ever wanted in the GTS, it just makes it so people make it's just a lot more valuable. It's just it keeps it's when it's not being too stiff. It's just a lot more keeping your value in your car, and I can see why people love it. Now, reaching all of those particular things I want is super important to me, because if you're going to go out and spend the money on a 911 GTS, anywhere between in the 992.1 range, 150 to 175,000, depending on how it's spec'd, you really want to have these certain criteria like your 0 to 60, your cornering, your quarter mile times meet your expectations. This way, when the new car comes along, and inevitably it will, you're not going to be super bothered when it's that extra 5-10 second quicker. I know that at 10.7 in the quarter mile and the 0-60 at 2.9, this car is always going to meet everything that I absolutely wanted it to be. So even if we're 10 or 15 years down the road, it's not going to matter to me, because it is always going to be the right GTS. Also, I'm not too excited about the hybrid system, as we've kind of discussed and talked over to it. It's really cool, and it's neat technology, but it's just not something that I feel like I need to add another 75 pounds to the car to really be interested in. If that's the way it's going to go, and we know that it's always going to be turbo into the future because of emissions, there's not really anything extra for me to look forward to in the next second quicker in the quarter mile, second quicker in 0 to 60 time. It's just not that important. What a beautiful drive. Well, the heart's gonna want what the heart wants. So you guys let me know out there if you believe that this is the best 911 GTS in the last 15 years, or maybe you're a 997 fan. Maybe you are a 992.2 fan and you just got one and you had a previous one and you just know it's that much better. Maybe the 991.2 is the best way to go. Either which way, guys, like and subscribe for us, okay? We have a bunch of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We'd love to, and we'll see you there.